Ed,
How are you doing?
living the dream. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for sitting down with me.
You got it, man. Sick background you got.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Appreciate that.
You got it all. Quite the collection.
Yeah, I've been collecting for a while, so I appreciate that.
Heck yeah, dude.
How's
Right
the
on.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying right on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, how's the tour treating you so far?
It's pretty easy. It's an easy job. I think we're only 9 games in, and it's been, probably a little over 2 months now. So it
Wow.
hasn't been super intensive compared to what I'm used to. So, like, physically, I feel good, but I know after I think we have 2 weekends coming up here in a row again, and then we'll have a week off, and then after then that week off, I think it'll really pick up because then we'll have no more breaks from mid-July through October when we're done. So then we'll be going every weekend. So I think that'll also help everything fly by a lot more.
Yeah, that would be nice for the season to go by, but it's gonna be a little tiring.
No doubt. No doubt. But even still, like coming out of college from last year, this is definitely a lot easier on the body, I'd say, because maximum will throw is probably 3 innings as a pitcher anyway. So it's
Yeah,
not it's not what it was.
yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I have an interview with Cole Kitchen of the Texas Tailgaters. Thank you for doing this with me.
You got it, stud. Anything for that's why we're fans first, making it happen for you.
Yeah, dude,
Even though you're wearing the wrong hat for this.
I have a blue shirt. That counts. I
Come
actually have a
on.
Tailgaters jersey coming in the mail soon.
All right. That's a good start.
Yep, it's of your buddy Colin Stone.
All right, he's a good dude. I like that guy. Good choice.
Thank you. Yeah, he was my first ever Tailgaters interview.
Okay, sweet. Is he your
Yeah,
favorite number two? Or
yeah,
is he just a good guy?
both. He's just a good guy and he has a cool number.
Heck yeah, makes sense.
Yep. But can you please tell me about your role with the Texas Tailgaters?
For sure, dude. I mean, signed on as a pitcher and mostly been kind of just middle innings here and there, one inning at a time. Last weekend or last series, I got to start for the first time, which was pretty cool. Get to do that again, so I get to throw some more innings, which is always fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, just pitching really and trying to put on the best show I can, outside of pitching, trying to learn all the line dances we've got is because, with the Texas Tailgaters theme, there's definitely a lot of country stuff like that's happening. So that's a fun part is getting to learn all the dances. And then just the good part about being a pitcher too is getting as much fan interaction as we are able to. Like if I'm only gonna go and play for one inning, then I got 17 other innings that I could go walk around and just talk to people, and it helps the time fly by too. It goes pretty quick.
Nice. Do you like starting better than coming out of the bullpen?
For this, I would say yeah, just because traditionally it seems like the starters get to throw a couple more innings, and I just like to play still, of course, on top of the entertainment stuff and all the fun stuff we get to do at the, Banana Ball is built off of baseball, so all that competitiveness for me and a lot of the other guys too is still there. So I mean, of course, I want to play and have as much fun as possible that way, and then after that's done, we get to, flip the switch and go into a different mode and just relax and enjoy the experience.
Cool. So, in Banana Ball, pitchers pitch a lot. How do you manage to keep your arm healthy so you're on the field a lot?
Um, I would argue is it well, like I said, kind of in the start when we were just chatting, like the workload that I'm used to from college, just coming out of it last year to this is a lot different. So with that, it's every weekend plus midweeks. So it's a lot of games, a lot more chances to throw. Here, it's a lot more controlled in that aspect. So for the first couple weekends, I was only throwing one inning.
How?
And so for me, that really wasn't a big deal. But I mean, me and a lot of the other guys just generally, it's still at the end of the day, we still are athletes and having to try to perform our best. So there's a lot of guys that spend time in the gym and just trying to stay on top of stuff like that. Because I mean, you could call it rehab instead of having to do rehab. So as long as you just stay on top of your business in the weight room, and some people like their little extra arm exercises that help them feel like they're where they need to be. Then it's kind of person by person, but we're still athletes, so we're just trying to stay in our best playing shape.
Cool. So you started playing baseball when you were 4. Do you remember your first ever baseball memory?
Um, I think so. I don't know if this was a dream or not. It's just like I feel like it's a hard thing to look back so far,
I
but I
get
feel like
those
I have this
sometimes.
memory. Yeah, I feel like I have this memory playing t-ball where my dad's like, try to hit left-handed, and then I hit a double, and I think it's real. But yeah, I don't think that. I know my dad tried to mess with me in my like righty and left-handedness because I think I was wanting to throw and hit left-handed naturally, but he at that time it was, even still a little bit, but like, people think right-handers have more opportunity because they could play more position
Yeah,
on the field, but I wouldn't mind. I would much rather be a left-handed pitcher if than a right-handed pitcher. 'Cause, that's gives you a little more value that way. But yeah, that's that. I think that's probably my first baseball memory.
cool. Yeah, that's the thing, because as a pitcher, a left-handed is harder on lefty-lefty, but in the field, first base or sorry, lefties can play shortstop or first pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, but I think, my dad was a theater kid really, so he didn't know what he was doing. He thought I was doing it for the best, but here we are anyway. It's
It
not so
worked
bad.
out.
Yeah, I'm still having fun, so that's all right with me.
That's sick. So you also traveled a lot for tournaments as a kid, going to Japan, Cooperstown, traveling and learning how to play on different fields. Do you think that's translating into traveling for the Texas Tailgaters?
I'm sure it helps, something I thought was really interesting about one of my teammates from last summer on the visitors and now the tailgaters is BK Trevenier. He took his first plane ride last year when we went to Indianapolis. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But for me, it's not really a strange experience to go on the road like this, stay in hotels because that was a lot of my college experience, playing at Santa Clara was, the typical experience you might think, traveling around a little bit, staying in hotels, all that good stuff. So it's an extension of that, I would say, more than in the past, the travel tournaments every so often having to stay in a hotel, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of those experiences have built up, so I don't really feel out of place like in a hotel or having to travel a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, I've had a couple of travel ball tournaments where like in like a out of state tournament, the hotel and the rides there are so fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun part. I have a lot of fun memories from travel ball in high school and in college, of course, like, the time just getting to mess around in the hotel and stuff and in your free time is a lot of fun alongside with all the baseball stuff too. But yeah, it's a good part of the experience.
Yeah, those trips are awesome.
Definitely.
What is the stadium you're most excited to play in this season with the Tailgaters?
I'd say probably Pittsburgh. I've never been there to watch a game and definitely never played there, so I think that'll be fun. I feel like it's an underrated ballpark in terms of its location on a river and the view of it. I think is pretty spectacular, so I think that'll be a really fun one to get into.
Yeah, dude, that ballpark's pretty with the bridge, the Allegheny River.
hmm And all the hedges in the outfield too.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
If you were a hitter, how many balls would you hit into the Allegheny River for batting practice?
I would estimate zero, but I would try my hardest to get at least one.
Yeah, that's because that's very far from home plate.
Yeah, definitely. When we played at Cincinnati the other week too, it was kind of a similar setup where the right field on the other side of it's the river, but I don't think I saw anybody go more than maybe halfway up the bleachers out there during batting practice.
That's still a bomb in a major league stadium, though.
Definitely, but it really doing that and seeing your guys do it, it really puts into perspective some of the MLB stuff when you're seeing guys hitting it off scoreboards and even further than that. It's they're special.
Yeah, those MLB guys are just kind of built different.
Definitely.
So you also played college ball at Santa Clara, sorry, how do you say it? Santa Claire University?
Clara. Yeah,
Clara?
Clara, yeah.
Sorry. What was the biggest lesson you took away from college ball?
I think our team had a pretty good culture, and a lot of it was based around like this mental performance stuff that we put a pretty big emphasis on. So there's a couple of sayings that have come out of that, and just I think perspectives type things that I learned from that. So like even still now, like make corrections. It was like I hear somebody say, "Oh, I have to do this thing," and I'll try to correct them and say, "You get to do this thing." And it's just a perspective and learning to be appreciative of the opportunities and things that you get to do, even if maybe you're not the most excited about it, or it's like not the glamorous side of all this. It's still a cool experience, or maybe not a cool experience, but part of the experience. And just you got to think there's definitely people out there that would love to be in your shoes. So even no matter how bad you think it is, it's not that bad, or how good you think it is, it's not that good either. So just trying to stay level in a lot of things, I feel like is some of the biggest stuff I've taken out of that.
That's cool. I'm kind of learning that with my current club ball team. My coaches, like, even on conditioning, they're like, even though it sucks, some people would hate or would love to be in your shoes to get this opportunity to play ball. So just take every moment how it comes.
Definitely. I feel like it's good that you're learning that. And I feel like I see the mental performance stuff becoming more and more widespread, especially with the popularity of people on social media that are kind of like
Yeah.
that's their brand and that's the message that they're trying to share. So I'm glad that you're getting to hear that so young.
Yeah, it's already worked out a little bit, so I'm happy.
Heck yeah.
So you played summer ball with the Bananas in 2021. How cool was that experience?
It was pretty fun. I was really stoked to get the opportunity to go out there. In high school, I had I went to this baseball tournament, and I'm sure you've seen it. They hand out like the Baseball America magazines. Have you seen
Oh
that?
yeah, the
Yeah, so it was like one of those type of things they were handing out. I was just flipping through it, whatever, and I saw this picture of these guys playing in kilts. And that was in probably 2018. I think it was in Jupiter, Florida. And so it kind of stuck in the back of my mind as something I was like, oh, that's really cool, like interesting thing, a little quirky and fun. And luckily, it worked out where my college coach had recruited somebody out of South Mountain, I believe it's called, which is out there in Arizona, which is where Tyler Gillum used to coach, the head coach for the Bananas. So they knew each other and snuck through the grapevine, I think, that I would be interested in playing out there because, even then it wasn't as crazy as it is now, but they were still doing a little bit of shenanigans on the side outside of the baseball. So I got to go out there and experience what it was all about, and it was a good way to dip my toe in it, and a lot of fun that summer for sure.
cool. I'm also out of Arizona, and my coach for my baseball team, he played for Tyler Gillum in high school.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah,
not surprised. Gillum's been around a while. He's been coaching a long time and has had some good success out there and continuing it out over here. So yeah, I'm sure he's made a big impact out there because I know he spent a lot of time there.
yeah, he seems like a phenomenal person too.
Yeah, good dude. He's a good guy to have as one of the big leaders in all of this for sure.
Yeah. So you also played on the Visitors last year, right?
Yep.
So how was that experience? Because you kind of get like the Visitors bringing development players to hopefully join other teams. How cool was that to like dip your feet in the water and get used to Banana Bowl, and now you're selling out Major League Stadiums with the Tailgaters?
Yeah, it was a good intro, 'cause like we just talked about with that summertime in 2021 with the Bananas was good, but it was still regular baseball. All the shenanigans was, in the stands and whatnot. And so I only played one Banana Ball game during that summer. It was like an exhibition thing. So it was good to kind of get into a little bit, see what it's really like, and experience how the games go. And it was a lot of fun those 6 games last summer. And it's cool that they're continuing it this year. I think, we were the first team to be the visitors, and now seeing the second team come through, you could see the growth and even just that in the one year and how much more bought in some of those players are even and putting on good shows and all that good stuff. So, with the 2 teams that are supposed to pop up for next year, I think there's a lot of good guys that they could pull from that. And I'm sure there's a lot more. There's still guys coming out to all the tryouts that are happening all over the place. So it's cool to see how much it's grown from when I first got a glimpse of this on the inside in that summer of 21.
That's cool. So, unfortunately, not all people on the visitors make it. Was there one guy where you saw last year that you were like, this guy's a lock to make one of the four teams?
Yeah, Ty Jackson, I would say, it worked out pretty good for him. He's definitely has the attitude. I played with him too that my first summer out here too, and he's been the same guy since then. Just a high energy, not afraid to do anything type of guy. So he's found his home.
Yeah, dude, I love his energy. Like when they went to Clemson, they dyed his hair. He dyed his hair purple and orange. Like that's
Yeah,
sick.
there's no fake juice from that guy. He's pretty cool.
And I've seen it on socials too. Like it seems like he's never tired.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I think I saw when they were in playing in Anaheim a couple of weeks ago, and they were going to Disney for that Disney day that they had. They
Yeah,
were up at like 3:30 or something on the bus heading over to the park, and he was being the same guy then as he would be at 10 at night. So I don't know if he even sleeps, to be honest.
he probably doesn't. What made you want to play for the Tailgaters this year?
It was cool to be involved in banana ball still in any capacity, which was kind of just what I was fighting for after the visitors, to have a chance to still be involved in all this. And it's been pretty cool to be a part of a brand new team because, we're on the ground level trying to, everything we do we're we have there's this greater vision in mind of trying to grow the brand of the team and be as helpful as we can and making it as successful as we can in this one season. And it's been cool to see how much growth there's been on the social media side at least. And now visually seeing it with at the parks, people wearing our stuff and getting our hats and coming up to us for stuff. So it's cool to be on the ground level for that. And then you know it's only we're not even halfway through our first season, so time will tell. And we're just trying to be keep growing and be as successful as we can be. But it's cool to be a part of it as the first team.
Yeah, that's cool. Because no disrespect to the firefighters, but I feel like you guys have grown as a franchise a lot quicker than the firefighters have.
Maybe I haven't been tracking it too closely. We were talking about that a little bit earlier today at the field, actually. Something to that effect. One of the firefighters said that we're going pretty fast, but it also comes with the experience, and they were the intro last year, so for the organization to intro us this year, they've definitely learned a lot of things from that to help kind of make it go smoothly. So I think we wouldn't be able to do it in the way we have without what they did last year for sure.
Yeah, they kind of stepped the path.
Something like that, yeah.
So you're still a little new to Banana Ball and these experiences, but this Tailgaters team is full of a bunch of rookies. Has anyone like come up to you and asked what it was like during spring training?
Um, like the visitors?
The Tailgaters, sorry.
Oh, like our own guys asking about stuff from last year?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of come up in conversation, but the good part about this being a little bit more long term is that there was a bigger time investment in us, and so we got out here at the beginning of April to start getting ready for the end of May for when our first games popped up. So there had already been a lot of work that had gone in with everybody together. So I'd say we were all pretty much, even though I had 6 games last summer, we were all still pretty much on the same playing field when it came to this season.
cool. As a pitcher, who was the toughest guy to get out in Banana Ball?
Um, you know, I think it's different for everybody. Some hitters just are able to see you well, for whatever reason, and they just have your number. And I don't know, honestly, just from what I've seen, I think I've only had one at bat against him, but Jake Skoll doesn't have all that hype for no reason. He puts a lot of hard contact on it, so it's pretty cool to see that. I wish it was on my side instead of against me and my fellow pitchers, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think his hype is probably deserved.
Yeah, when I ask pitchers this, 90% of the time it's Jake School. He hits bombs.
Yeah, he's pretty handy with that stick.
Yeah. Who is the best hitter you faced in college?
Uh, I don't really remember a whole lot of specifics, but I mean, my senior year, we won our conference series, but I think there was this lefty guy that we faced. He went to the University of Portland. I forget his name, but he played center field and was a lefty hitter. And I feel like his bat to ball was like pretty good. And I feel like I always had an extra level of focus when he was coming up. Also, because I mean, we played them for a couple of years, so I feel like he sticks out.
Cool. As a center fielder with bat to ball skills, he was probably fast too.
Yeah, I think so. I think he stole bases too, so you get on, and then you'd have to think about him there too.
That causes a whole nother thing because you have to think about him rather than facing the batter.
Exactly.
What's it like being on the road with the Texas Tailgaters for this Banana Ball tour?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I feel like the bad part about traveling in college is that you're in school for a lot of the season. So when you're on the road, you don't get to fully enjoy the wherever you are all the time because you still have the responsibilities of school on your hands. But now it's all the fun without any of that work. So it's just I feel like it's an extension of college almost, of like that summer break when you first get done with school and you get a little baseball left. So it's just all fun, really.
Yeah, that's cool because I made my seventh grade team this year, which is the first opportunity for me to play school ball. And a couple of my
Nice.
teammates, thank you, a couple of my teammates didn't play because they didn't keep up on the schoolwork side.
Yeah, I mean it's corny maybe, but they say student athlete, student comes first. So you can't ignore that side of things. And unfortunately, some guys have more trouble than that. I've been fortunate where it was always stressed in my family that academics were important. So even though I didn't necessarily enjoy it, I did pretty good in school. So I was never cutting it close.
Yeah, I've never been cutting it close either, even though I don't like school. My parents just have been putting me in good schools.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yep. It's a little tough as a pitcher, but what is your favorite go-to trick play?
If I ever, well, I think next year actually we'll be able to count trick plays as, if you have two strikes on somebody and do something a little extra and then strike them out, it'll count as a trick play. So I think there will be a lot of good opportunities in the future to play with stuff like that. And I mean, for me, the last name's Kitchen, we're the Tailgaters, so there's definitely a big cooking theme that we can go with there. So I have like a spatula and grill tongs that I take with me out on the mound. So I'm sure I'll be able to incorporate that a lot more actually into the pitches when stuff like that comes on. So that should be interesting. But I've yet to have a comebacker, so I don't know. I'll probably panic when the ball comes to me the first time and try to think of something and fumble it.
Yeah, it's tough though as a pitcher because you rarely get balls hit to you.
Yeah.
So for a little while you dyed your mustache orange. What went into that decision to dye it?
Well, the good part is it wasn't actually dye. There's this hair paint that I got from Nick Lopez on our team who does the blue mustache. It's called Hallie's, but it's basically, whatever color you choose, you dip the little wand in it. It's like a mascara wand if you're familiar with what that's kind of how that kind of works.
Yeah,
But you just kind of paint it on, and then the other end has these little silicone fingers, and it spreads it pretty evenly. And then, I'll just lick my fingers to get any extra paint off the sides, and so, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of thought that goes into it. And I mean, unfortunately, I do have blonde hair, so it stains a little bit, like right in here.
yeah,
But after a couple of days, it's like it never even happened.
cool. So Nick Lopez, his mustache is blue too, and it's not dyed.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, he does the same thing. And then lately with the Texas flag unis, we've also been doing a split where we go red on one side and blue on the other to kind of match the Texas flag and how the jerseys split.
That's sick. It looks cool in pictures.
I think so.
The tailgaters can have some tailgate parties before. If you're going to a tailgate party, what meal are you cooking?
Some my we were just talking about this last week when I was visiting home. We had some time off, and sometimes I get a hard time for it, but whenever I'm asked like, oh, what do I want for my birthday dinner or whatever like that to celebrate, I always say like a burrito bar. So we'll just have a bunch of tortillas out, a couple of meat varieties. We usually go. I don't know if you have them in Arizona, but they're pretty prevalent around the Los Angeles area. But Vallarta is this Mexican supermarket, and so they have pretty good marinated like carne asada and chicken. And on the grill, that's always good. And then whatever else, that rice, beans, lettuce, salsa, guacamole, all that good stuff. So I would probably try to recreate that as much as I could at a tailgate, I think.
Dude, burritos are so good. I'm not sure we have it here in Arizona, but we might.
Yeah, I'd look into it. It's worth the investment to try to find one.
Thank you. So at lunch today, I had a Chipotle burrito. It was so good.
Did you get the new adobo ranch?
Yes, it is the best ranch of all time.
Really? My
Yeah,
roommate actually just went and got some. I just heard him get back actually, so I'll have to hear it from him firsthand pretty shortly here, I'm sure.
cool. Yeah, it's the best ranch out there.
All right, I'll give it a try then.
Cool. So now we're gonna do a couple of rapid fire, just whatever comes off your mind first. Who is the funniest teammate?
Jimmy Lewis.
If you could steal one pitch from another banana ball player, who would it be?
I don't know what, I think Danny Hosley has a splitter that's pretty effective. So that'd be pretty sweet.
I've heard that a couple times, so it must be nasty.
Yeah, he's got a lot of strikeouts. I think they just put out the latest graphics for each team, and I think he's in the lead for the Bananas with 40 strikeouts or something, if I remember right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What is the funniest thing you've been asked to sign?
I've done a couple of Ford heads, but I always like that because then, some people haven't even thought of that as an idea, and then you see them a couple minutes later, and they have signatures all over their face, and I think it's funny to start a trend like that for somebody.
That's cool, but I feel like it's like would wash off an hour later in the shower.
Well, I would hope. I don't think they want to be walking around like that.
Yeah. If you would play any other position, what position would it be?
Played a lot of outfield. I mean, even still, I kind of mess around out there with the trick play, so I'd probably get out and realistically probably right field.
Cool. Besides you, who is the best pitcher on the Texas Tailgaters?
Um, I think, maybe a sleeper because he plays the violin and stuff like that, but James Tobble or Jimmy Strings has had a lot of success so far this season, and it's been cool to watch him go out there. Got a good changeup that plays well off of his fastball. It kind of just falls out of the same flight path coming in. So he's been doing really well lately, and I hope he keeps it up.
Cool. I just had him on. He was awesome as well.
Yeah, good dude.
So, Banana Ball has a lot of content creators. You are very active on social media. How do you manage to still pitch for your team but create content?
Um, well, the good thing I don't have to do them at the same time. But also another good part about being a pitcher is there is a fair amount more downtime. There'd be a lot of times during batting practice, so you look around the outfield and, instead of maybe shagging like they should, there's a lot of pitchers that are have their phones out and are trying to make something quick out there, whether it's a silly dancing one or asking people questions and stuff like that. But it's definitely a big part of what the organization does and a big reason for why they've had as much success and growth as they've had. So, you just try to figure out what works for you and what you like to do and make on that side of things. So for me, I'm still kind of on that hunt. It's kind of, I don't know. It's never thought of something I thought of as being like part of a job. Like, there's people that are influencers or whatever, and there's definitely a lot of big names in Banana Ball that do very well on social media. And but yeah, I don't know. Every guy's just got to find their thing.
That's cool because with the bananas in Banana Bowl, whatever content you want to create, you can pretty much do whenever.
Definitely, definitely. There's a lot of freedom in that, and so it's cool also to be where it's not like a frowned upon thing. Where I feel like maybe in college when the TikTok and stuff started blowing up, when there were athletes that were that blew up on social media, they were kind of frowned upon or not looked at in the same way as like a regular athlete. They're like, oh, they're just like a TikTok star or whatever. They're not that good. But here it's very much encouraged and supported by everybody. So yeah, it's different, but it's cool.
Cool. What is your favorite fans first memory or story you've been a part of?
Um, I mean, it's hard to pick out one, but like in Cincinnati, where the stadium was so big and you walking up there to the highest section. Or there's been a couple other parks that are still like pretty big, like in Albuquerque, there's a section that was way up there. But like when you walk up there, like there's a real look of surprise in people's face when they like see that you and they're like, oh, the players all the way up here. Like I wouldn't have expected it type of thing. So it's cool to be able to like go up there and just sit and talk with people a little more like casually. And then, because after the games and the plaza parties and stuff like that, it's a little bit more of a zoo and there's music playing real loud and all that stuff. So it's a little harder to like spend, quality time with people. So that's been a nice thing to be able to do out here.
That's cool. I've heard that a couple times because those fans can't see the game as well, and it just makes their day when you go up there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all the questions I have for you. Do you have anything for me?
Um, I think it's real cool what you're doing with all this. I don't you like playing baseball and you like the interview side of things. So I assume you're aspiring for a career in sports in some capacity.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool to see you doing this. I know I've kind of scrolled through your YouTube. I see you do a lot of guys that and just keep at it, whatever you do. Like it's cool. I mean, you're so young with this, and I don't know how many people are doing this type of stuff on YouTube, but to get on it early is definitely good practice for you. So if you keep it up, I'm sure it'll pay dividends for you. And so, whether baseball or this, just keep at it. I think in the long run, it can only help you.
Yeah, thank you. I just had Jesse Cole on a couple weeks ago. He gave me an
Very cool.
idea where I'm miking myself up for my games, and I'm gonna try and become the first ever broadcaster and player at the same time in Banana Ball.
That's a good character. I like that a lot. That could be really good.
Thank you. You got anything else for me?
I think that's it, even though, you're rooting for the wrong team in the NL West, but, maybe if you make your way a little further west one day, you'll root for the good guys.
Are you a
Bleed
Dodgers fan?
blue,
You're a
something
Dod
like that.
you're a Dodgers fan?
Yeah,
That's tough.
not for me. They've been pretty easy to root for lately.
Well, it's because you're signing everyone.
Well, jealousy's a disease. Everybody always wants more money and all this stuff, but, they'll hate on the people with it.
All I'll
Dodgers are no
say,
different.
all I'll say is 2023 NLDS.
Did you guys win or something? Honestly, I don't remember that much. I don't got a
Ye-
memory like that.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah, I think we won. Yeah, we beat you in that series.
I'm not surprised. The Dodgers are known for also in the last couple of years of signing all these people, spending so much money. They make the playoffs every year, but
Yeah.
then what they'll lose at some point. Even they're I think the last couple of years they've lost quite a few World Series. So it's
Yep.
part of it, I suppose.
You also said you hung out with Carol in high school, right?
Not in high school. So my best friend from Santa Clara, his name's Jared Fikes. He went to Lakeside, I believe is the name of the high school in
Yeah.
Seattle, and I think he grew up playing with Corbin as well. So a couple of times if he was just passing through on his way driving back between Arizona and Seattle, um, they would hang out. So I met him a couple of times.
That's cool. He's a stud now in the big leagues.
Yeah, definitely. It's working out. I actually faced him in Florida. And
Oh, really?
that's when I said I saw those bananas in that magazine. That was the tournament. I played him when he was on the Canes out there.
Nice. That's a tough at bat for him, though. Lefty, lefty.
Throw righty.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good. I remember Jared told me that he hits changeup really well. I think he hit a triple off me. I'm not 100% sure if it was him, but a lefty hit a triple. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was him.
And he's quick.
Yeah, yeah, he could get there fast for sure.
But thank you for sitting down with me. Best of luck the rest of this season.
You got it, Isaac. Thanks for having me. Keep up the good work, dude. It's cool to see what you're doing.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, stud. Talk to you later.
You too.